Yo, what's up? Today is the 20th September 2022. Recapping on the day and the ongoing story that I'm putting up together. It's a long story that is going to run and run and run and run. But along the way now, I'm discovering a lot of things that, although not relevant, although not related to the story, but it's a construct that, a lot of people, they don't know people until you know people. Personally, I was exposed to money at a very young age. I've always talked about paying my tuition fees. I've always talked about paying my tuition fees in A level. The reason is simple, because of what had happened in my O level. When I'm suspended and told not to return back to Mwiri, during the senior fall vacation, it was clear to me, my mom said to me, if you want to continue with your studies, you are going to pay your way. There's no money to waste, because she pretty much had seen that I wasn't interested in studying anymore. It's not like that. It wasn't like that because. So how I end up at Makerere High was on the advice of my Uncle George. So from there onwards, I knew how to hustle, call it the real hustle. So even the time when I was in Kenya, when we get to Kenya, she takes me to Kenya Post Bank and opens up an account for me. Kenya Post Bank, Afia building on Tomboya Street. There used to be a post bank. And she deposited in the equivalent of Ugandan money today, about 20 million. So in dollars, how much is that? Because it was in Kenya shillings. Let me see. Let me get it this way. Okay, about 5,000 pounds is about $7,000. So the money I had paid for A level tuition fees, she says, sente zozo wasasulangamu school fees zizo tandikirako. Because she had seen me hustle all the way through my A level. Every time paying my fees, You get me? So now we are getting this story going. So when I get to Maharishi International University, it meant that the tuition fees was payable in dollars. Those who were there know the amount of money. It was a lot. But as a parent, I think because I hadn't gone to campus, and either way, that money was very much more than enough for me to pay privately at Makerere. On any course I wanted, probably it would have been low. It was going to be low. LDC. There was no shortcut. 1994, that is when private sponsored students, something similar to that, Makerere, start. And I remember that intake, once you didn't get on government scholarship, it was a bit confusing what was which. But nevertheless, I was gone by then. September, October, I was out of Uganda. So, and so that early exposure with money, I was technically aware. Now, let me tell you guys, So those who used to traverse Kenya, crossing the border, did you remember that there used to be currency exchange? Okuvunula sente kuzivungisa. So some of us would buy the Kenyan money cheap on the Akamba when we get to the border nga tuzitunda. So if I had at the time 50,000 Kenya shillings cash, you bought the Akamba and you start flogging your money. Currency exchange. This is what I tell you. So because I was now familiar with Kenya, nilikuwa mefahamu biashara yote ya Kenya. So, do you get me? And where was I? So by the time I'm in Maharishi, I begin to sense that this place is not working for me. Now, those who are following the story from Maha with Love, a lot of elements in the story could be true. I'm not disputing that. You know what I mean? So, but it's given me the opportunity to have an internal discussion on everything. So, because when I left Maharishi, 1995, 30th June, end of the semester, I was leaving Maharishi not to return. That's it. I had enough of that place, you know what I mean? And once I hit Nairobi, nilianza biashara. I was making money. So what money was I making? I started a photography business. I was staying in a Pumwani Christian hostel. Those who know Isli very well, Isli. Isli section 3. So this was a Christian hostel, but it was dominated by mainly students who came from up country. So I realized that kwa sababu hivyo siku hizi, you could take pictures and these people could send their people back home. And these were students who had come to Nairobi for the first time. Alafu kurudisha na watu wako nyumbani wanapeleke picha. So I was minting money. So along Koinange Street, there used to be a studio, photo studio. Nilikuwa napeleka huko za film. They wash them from there to develop them. And they were asking me, lakini we Muganda, hizi picha unapigianga wapi? Na kubanga camera. Every day ngantwala film take went like 10, 20, 30. Nusura kuba every night from block to block. There were about 7-8 blocks. 7-8 blocks in the hostel. Those who were in the hostel remember these things. Oh, Muganda wa camera. Oh, Muganda wa camera. So that's how everything takes off from there. But I was also studying Institute of Shipping and Management Studies. Then I got my diploma in Customs Clearing and Forwarding, Import and Export Management, and it's all to do with customs, international trade, import and export, and customs clearing and forwarding, shipping. Did my industrial placement at Embakasi Airport, Jomo Kenyatta. So you can see. So with from Rishi School of Management, with love, mapenzi yenyewe. So the big push of the two relationships was like an ejection set. You know, these things. Remember, I was in my early 20s. So a lot of people say, Kegus, you used to live big, you used to live large. Yes. Some people Sente bazireye bukulu. Maybe, I'm 45, I'm 50, I'm seeing money for the first time. Definitely, you're going to behave like you're 20. So me, I was in Kenya. I was driving. That is how arrogant I was. Mefaham. But 1997, I left Kenya. For the reason being that my mom was sick. So if you're going to follow the story, leaving Mahai in 97, 95, 67, 96, 7, I returned to Uganda. So you can see that a lot of things are happening. Instantly. Yeah. So, and it's just like that. It's just a story. So, guys, now the maiden voyage to Nairobi, 1994, is me leaving Uganda to come to Kenya. Okay. For obvious reasons of not going to Makerere, which in any case I would have gone to Makerere, but my mom did not want me anywhere near Kampala, because she was very wary of how things were going, And I had had a taste of money. I knew how to make money. I had hustled and blah blah. I said, no, mwana kamujewo, mutwale Kenya asome. I was always very clever. I was always very clever, because if I had used my results for A level, the UNEB released only the mock results. I had a BBC, which if I had paid private, I was getting it taken straight away in LDC. So, but Mzende said no. The final results were not released. They gave us our mock results, UNEB, and I have no case against UNEB. UNEB were just doing their work. They were speculating examination leakages, something I didn't understand what they meant. I don't know, but abagezi ngaffe twalimu. But that is history. So I go to Kenya. From Kenya, come back to Uganda. So all the experience I have gathered in Kenya, it was very, very easy for me when I come back, when I go to URA, Uganda Revenue Authority. I had a job there, declaration officer. So goods, whatever. I saw this one as a sluggish game. There's a lot of corruption, and there is a corruption of some dealing, and I believe you should work and hustle. So so I didn't feel comfortable being in the situation of taking advantage of people and things like that. So it was very easy for me to jump ship, to hell with the whatever. Now meetings are abazungu. So we have a conversation. Capital Pub, Dominic, Never Grant, they were Swiss investors. Those days of the investors when they used to come and do. So that's when I meet them with those machines. It was like a money-making machine, and they had asked me a percentage. They didn't even have a clue. The gaming industry in Uganda by then was very, very infant. And now I understand there's a gaming commission. Can you imagine? There's a gaming commission. Hustle. We touch the machines and they really rip havoc. You get me? So, they were setting a chuma, so things like that. So, in the story, I leave a gap of 2 years, and then come back in 2000. My maiden voyage to Europe. Was I looking for the Kenyan beauty? Because remember, the Kenyan beauty lives Kenya in the story. Those who are going to follow the story. The Kenyan beauty, the parents take her abroad. Hence, the story American beauty. Binana bintu bili connected. Na hii mu America nganonya mukazi oyo. You're going to read the story, people. You know what I mean? So, 2000, okay, everybody knows, shopping, I'm arrogant enough to say that, things like that. So when I come in 2000, I come back to study, then I say, let me go to America. So this story is going to go on, guys. You're going to enjoy it. So, let me stop it there. From Maharishi School of Management, University Campus, with love, mapenzi yenyewe, 1994, 1995. It was a redacted chapter in my maiden voyage to Nairobi, 1994. So, that's a construct. But these things happen. Things happen for all sorts of reasons. Things happen for love, money, but especially money. If you're not familiar with money, money is the root of all evil. I can tell you the truth. Let me even put on my glasses here in the light. You see me properly. The root of all evil is money. But today, me right now, I said the other day that even if you put $1 million here, I give it to charity. No. I see what money can do. Money, if in the wrong hands, if not used properly, if it not managed, and if you haven't had the taste of money, because money equals power. Right, guys, I'm out. It's just about 9:10, and I'm ranting about, I'm ranting. So it's getting cold. You see now the attire is changing. I'm from the gym, and we've done 3 classes today. So let's keep following the story. If pictorial, I have a lot of pictures. You can always dig in them, you know what I mean? So pictures. So that's it. Yeah. You see, it's dark.